Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. Be sure to check me out over on Rumble. There you'll find all of my stuff from YouTube, plus my political and social commentary and weekly current events, which YouTube frowns on. Links to my Rumble channel, as well as my other YouTube channels, and links to let you order my books are in the description of this video. If you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe, share, and comment. I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. Now, on with the video. Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing an advanced Dungeons and Dragons advice video on, I can't imagine this, but the intentional TPK. So here we go. Before I get into the video, however, I do want to tell you about a new book that I just got published called The House Off Farrago Road. It's available on Amazon.com. The author's name is H.L. Anderson. That's me. It's up there along with the rest of my books, the Drifters series 1, 2, and 3. The Vanguard One and The Righteous President. The House Off Farrago Road is just a fun story about a house where the denizens are not quite normal. Mythological creatures and supernatural forces commingle with modern-day law enforcement and the criminal underworld. If the quirky weird piques your interest, check out The House Off Farrago Road. Alright, on with the video. I really hope people enjoy my content, and whenever you folks comment on my videos, I try to read them all and reply when I can. I lead a full life. I've got, a full-time job, and it's difficult sometimes to keep track of all the comments, but I do try, and I value each and every one of you. I got an interesting comment the other day wherein the individual mentioned that his suspicion that his dungeon master intentionally caused a TPK, a total party kill, to start the game over at level 1. Now, for the record, I'm sure that's not what happened. No dungeon master worth his title would intentionally kill off players. I have run games with groups who may have thought I was intentionally killing everybody off, but I assure you that is simply not the case. I promise you that is never the case. No matter how much a dungeon master pretends to enjoy killing off player characters, no dungeon master actually wants them dead. If a player character dies, then the player has to put a new PC into the game. This is a lot of work to get that new player character into the existing story framework. It's simply not worth it. It's more trouble than it's worth. So for a dungeon master to intentionally kill off a player character, knowing that player will make a new character and get into your game, no, it's just not worth it. Sometimes player characters die, and there's nothing the dungeon master can legally do about it. I have seen dungeon masters bend and twist rules and go above and beyond to keep player characters alive. I have done that. But when it is unavoidable, player characters die, and that's that. There's nothing you can do about it. Now, on to game masters that are not worth the title. I was playing Recon under a new mission director. This kid wanted to run a game, and he was so excited about it that myself and 2 other friends agreed. One of the players was his brother. The mission director was Ronnie, and his brother was Johnny. Ronnie and Johnny fought like brothers. Oh my God, they fought like brothers. During the course of the game, Ronnie had Johnny make agility checks like every 5 minutes for seemingly no reason. Eventually, of course, he failed one. So Johnny stepped in. None of the rest of us were doing it, just him. Johnny stepped into a pit trap with punji stakes. I tried to help him out of the trap, but failed. He tried to get out and tripped another booby trap, which injured him further. The other player, a medic, tried to treat him. Ronnie rolled dice and announced that, get this, the sedative and antibiotics were old and went bad, causing even more damage. The medic and I both together tried to get him out, and we failed. I'm sorry, Johnny was going to die, period. That dungeon master wanted him dead. That game master, that mission director wanted him dead, period. There's nothing else. There's no other explanation for that. He wanted that dude dead. Another story. Years ago, a friend asked me to join the game that his friend was running, and I had the time, so I went ahead and agreed to do it. Now, on character creation, the last step was a percentile roll. to determine if my character had contracted a disease, which was a 95% chance. And then the chance that it was fatal was another 85%. So you had a 95% chance to have the disease, and there was an 85% chance that it was fatal. I got my 8th level wizard completed and then had to start all over because he died of a disease. As did my 8th level fighter, my 8th level cleric, and my 8th level thief. Finally, I just grabbed my stuff and left. What's the point? I'm as patient as the next guy. I'm as patient as they come. But at that point, it's time to get the fuck out of Dodge. I'm sorry. But that guy didn't understand how to be a dungeon master. What was the point? There are dungeon masters thrust into the role that aren't ready. I've done videos on that. And then there are just crappy dungeon masters. If you feel that your character was unjustly killed off, talk to the dungeon master. Don't get angry and don't cause a scene. If it turns out that you were correct and the dungeon master will not make it right, just leave. There are other dungeon masters out there running other games, and if this guy is going to intentionally kill off players out of the story, contrary to the storyline or contrary of abilities they have or contrary of other factors that may have prevented it, and he's intentionally going to kill them off no matter what, what's the point? Honestly, what is the point? People make characters and it takes a long time to get a character up to level, and if what's the point? Anytime I have ever wanted to do something different or wanted to start over with a different campaign or do something different aside from this, I always talk to my players. Always. I have never intentionally killed off the entire party simply to do something different. I'm sure there's at least once or twice where people thought I did, but I did not. At any rate, any dungeon master who would do that is not worth the title of dungeon master. Now, I'm gonna fall back on the old reliable. I'm absolutely positive this guy did not intend to kill off the whole group so he could start over, but it may have just looked like it. But if that is the case, then again, yeah, it's time to go. Find a different dungeon master or rotate the dungeon master's duties throughout the group. That way, everybody gets a shot at it. That's always nice. The game needs more dungeon masters. At any rate, I hope this helps out, my friend, and I appreciate your comments, and I hope I helped. I appreciate everybody's comments, even if you disagree with me. Hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good one. God bless one and all. There is a house in New Orleans where the monsters all hang out. When the police detective, who happens to be a skinwalker squirrel, uncovers a plot by a paranormal perpetrator, he has to enlist the aid of his fellow housemates. If you enjoy a modern, quirky take on historical mythology, check out my new original novel, The House Off Farrago Road.